Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be doing something a little bit different on the channel. Today we are diving into my own personal rankings of Eurovision 2026. I also did something like this for the 2024 Eurovision, so I ranked all of the songs out of 10, gave my reasons why I like them, kind of thing. That video will be in the description if you want to check that out, my thoughts on that year. And we were doing the same for the 2026 contest, which is taking place mid-May, so in the next couple of weeks. So more videos will progressively keep coming out around Eurovision, because I feel like it's about that time. And I haven't been as into Eurovision as I am in previous years. I find the song quality of this year's contest to be a little lacking. Like, just kind of going purely off of songs that I would listen and I wouldn't really skip. I would say about half. I would say Ukraine and Up is the cutoff for songs that I really thoroughly enjoy. Besides that, they're kind of just meh tracks, which usually it's not like that. Usually I vibe with mostly every single track that is kind of a part of the contest, but it just hasn't been that year. And maybe once I see them live, you know, for semifinal 1, semifinal 2, I'll kind of have a better, kind of more visual effect for most of these songs. But a lot of these songs feel, I don't know, very, very samey, very lacking originality, lacking, you know, that it factor for me. So I've went ahead, ranked every single song by song quality. So basically, for song quality, we have just overall, is it objectively strong? We also have memorable, or does it have a shock factor? So will people remember it just by hearing it? Is it shocking? Will people be shocked when they hear it, or will they just not have any feelings towards it? Is it original? Is it something we've seen at Eurovision before, or is it not? Cultural impact, so like if it has a lot of cultural elements, if it feels like authentic to the country or to the person doing it. I've kind of looped those in, and then my personal ranking of the song. I feel like that's important as well, because there's songs that are kind of objectively weak in the song quality tier, but in the personal ranking side of things, I can't get enough of it. You know what I mean? I know that happens where it's like a guilty pleasure. So that's kind of why that personal ranking category is there. So it kind of, you know, balances out a little bit better. So yeah, as you can see, the red and the green, if you were wondering also what that means, the red basically means if they were in semifinal 1 or semifinal 2, they would be eliminated. The green means they would be advancing to the grand final. So all the red means that they would be knocked out. And then the white obviously just means that they've automatically qualified for the grand final because they're a certain country. Obviously Germany, Italy, they're part of like the big 4, big 5, whatever. And then Austria because they won the contest last year. So that kind of thing. So I guess let's just start from the bottom and go up, kind of giving you my thoughts on each song, why I've kind of ranked them, where I've ranked them, kind of going in a little in depth into each track and my thoughts on it. So obviously you can see score out of 10, I have the highest for Romania this year, and the lowest at 5.1 for Azerbaijan. So let's just start from the bottom. 5.1, easily the lowest on my rankings this year. This song just doesn't really have anything going for it. It's not memorable. The quality is very, very poor. It is very unlike Eurovision standard. It's just not memorable. And part of the reason I think that is, it's also in English, so it also does not feel super authentic. If it was in a native language like Azerbaijani, or I think that's the native language of Azerbaijan, maybe I would like it a little bit more, but also the lyrics factor, the fact that I can listen to the lyrics, I can understand them. You know what I mean? Like, for some of these songs, when they're in their native language for that country, I can kind of, obviously, I don't know what they're saying, so it sounds fine to me. So, you know, if it's in English, I'm a little more picky when it comes to that. Germany, again, very, very unoriginal. We've had so many fire-themed songs, it feels like, over the course of many years in Eurovision. The sound as well kind of sounds like something that has been done many, many times. Super, super unoriginal. So while it's not a terrible song, it's just super unoriginal. And yeah, for a country like Germany, I'm expecting more. 5.9. Also tied with 5.9, we have Estonia. It's kind of this nostalgic 2000s girl band type song, but it ends up sounding very, very dated. So while it's original, more so than some of the other songs on this list, looking at you, San Marino, Germany, Azerbaijan, it does end up sounding a little dated and very, very kind of, I don't know, childish. Cringy is not necessarily the word. It's just kind of a very, very bland hook as well, and corny. Corny's kind of the word I'm thinking for this song. But again, it's just meh all around. San Marino, I do not hate this one as much as other people do. I've seen San Marino right at the bottom of people's lists, and I don't think it's necessarily that bad. I have it a 6.06 out of 10. You know, I think the beat is actually very, very, like, catchy and kind of satisfying. The melody isn't the greatest. It sounds like a RuPaul Drag Race song that the contestants would make, that kind of thing. But it's definitely not the worst. The production has some kind of quirky elements that I like, and it's kind of catchy. Like, there's nothing super inherently bad. It's just, again, super, super bland and uninspiring, but it's not the most uninspiring. Okay? So not bad. Belgium, I actually don't mind this one. I just think the lyrics overall tank this one so bad. I cannot stand the song for the lyrics alone. Again, it's in English. It's kind of a vibe of a track in a way. Again, unoriginal, but at the same time, overall, very, very lyrically disappointing song for Belgium. I feel like they could have done a lot more with it. Moving on to Poland, 6.3 out of 10. This one, again, I was expecting kind of a little bit more. The intro was very, very nice. I liked her vocals. Her vocally, this song is very, very nice, but I don't like the rapping kind of R&B gospel sound very much. I think some people will like this vibe, but I'm not a huge fan. It feels a little bit weird for Poland, and it feels like one where, you know, you either love it or you hate it. It's objectively, it could be a song that, you know, very, very divisive song is what I'm kind of trying to say. But I think it will really, really depend on what the staging looks like. I feel like that will kind of change my opinion on the song. And for a lot of these songs in general, I feel like once I kind of see them as a visual, might change my opinion on them. But overall, I'm just not messing with the genre and type of song that Poland's giving us this year. Nothing like Gaia last year. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the rapping part. The rapping part, just really, really took me out of the song that I was kind of partially enjoying. Czechia, again, a ballad song. We have 4 or 5-ish ballads in this pool of Eurovision songs this year, and this is probably the weakest one. This one, you know, the vocal mixing is not great. It's very, very weak production-wise. It feels like it's trying too hard to be cinematic and kind of beautiful and kind of just this... it really comes out flat. You know what I mean? It's not super interesting compared to even the Latvian ballad, for example, especially not the Ukrainian or Australian ballad. I feel like, you know, it's one of those ballads that doesn't stand out at all. It's not super memorable, and I don't know what miracle they're going to have to do to qualify, but I feel like this song is very, very meh overall. You know what I mean? I feel like they were trying a little too hard to be kind of cinematic sounding, and it really, really did not, you know, happen. Luxembourg, okay, 6.8 out of 10. This is one where it's high on my personal ranking, but I know it can be divisive for some. I just feel like overall, the singer-songwriter vibe of this song doesn't fit Eurovision. I was very, very, you know, questionable about the post-chorus, the Mother Nature, she knows. But I mean, it's catchy. I can't lie, but overall, it feels like a song that absolutely could qualify. But as a song, I just don't feel like it fits. It doesn't feel very Eurovision. It feels just very, very bland, and one that, like, even the staging, I can't imagine it's going to be too dynamic to visualize. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those songs where even if you try your best to put into the staging, I don't really know how much that's going to make when it's a song kind of like this. You know what I mean? So Luxembourg, unfortunate kind of song for them this year, 6.8 out of 10. It's a guilty pleasure for me, but it's not it doesn't kind of reach that mark where I'm like, okay, this is good enough to kind of be in the green for me. Not quite. Austria, again, really, really disappointing from the former winners here. It feels like they were trying to go for this clubby, very, very intense song, but they don't really go all out with their expectations, with their goal to kind of be crazy, you know what I mean? Be full on produced. I don't like the hook. The hook is very repetitive at times. It's just they're not committing to the sound they want to do, it feels like, in this song. And 6.8, again, Austria and Germany are lucky that they are guaranteed a spot in the grand final anyways, because if not, these two would be right at the bottom. I expect these two to be bottom in the grand final, but that will come at a later video where I kind of give my actual predictions. Right now, it's just pure on, what's my thoughts on the song, nothing to do with the country, that kind of thing. Right now, I'm just kind of sticking with my thoughts on the song. And again, it's just, it doesn't sound like they have a goal for this song, and it's all over the place. 6.8 out of 10 feels accurate for me. Latvia, again, a more enjoyable ballad. I actually like this ballad, but it feels like the general population won't see this as memorable compared to some of the ballads here like Ukraine or Australia. So while I like it, I mean, it's one that absolutely could end up qualifying. Just for me, it's on the cusp of kind of being one of the weaker tracks. Just kind of outside of the personal ranking, looking at it from a kind of more objective standpoint, it's just okay. Tied with Latvia in this 6.8 out of 10 score is Israel. I appreciate Israel kind of stepping outside the box with their sound. The last 4 years, they've all been ballads, and it feels like people are overrating this song just because Israel's doing it, and it's a sound they haven't done. But overall, if it was a different country, I feel like it wouldn't be, seen as good. I think it's just because, it's seen as this new sound for that particular country, but in general, it's very, very bland. It kind of reminds me of the French entry in a way this year. I like the 3 languages being spoken in this track, Hebrew, French, and English. I appreciate their kind of, being more pop and more fun and less kind of, pandering, it feels like. So it's a step in the right direction, but this one falls flat for me as well. Switzerland, again, it's not a bad track whatsoever. It's this pop rock kind of vibe here. Love her vocals on this track. I think it really has grown on me. I just think it's, we have a couple of other pop rock tracks that I think stand out a little bit more. And hardcore rock too. Serbia is coming up next. I really, really enjoyed that one. So again, it's one that I think could absolutely qualify. It's just not crazy enough as a pop rock song to kind of capture the attention. I feel like, again, staging, make or break for this song. Be interesting to see how they shape it up in the grand final. But 7 out of 10 is my ranking for this song. Moving on to Serbia, 7.05 out of 10. So moving into the songs that, if I were the Eurovision judge, this would qualify for the grand final. We have the Serbian entry. This is really, really hardcore rock. The only song out of this bunch to really, really feel crazy, very hardcore rock. So this one will absolutely stand out. I feel like in the grand final, which I think it should qualify, this will make a splash just because of how different it is. I really, really enjoy it. I'm not typically a fan of the rock heavy metal genre, but this one, I can appreciate it for what it is for sure. The Georgian entry, 7.09 score out of 10. Again, I reacted to it on this channel, and I was excited because of the snippets I had heard, but overall it feels very overwhelming. It's catchy. I think it's solid. The lyrics are weak. I would have preferred it to be in Georgian. A lot is happening. I feel like the song structure is all over the place. And the chorus let me down just because there's no actual lyrics. It's just like la 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 la. It's that kind of thing. It's a bop if I can get over all of those things. So there's a lot of negatives, but the positives are also solid. I feel like it's good enough to kind of perform well at Eurovision, though. It's not bad. Not bad at all. Norway. This one, again, one looking at as an objective standpoint, it's 7.1 out of 10. My personal ranking, I have it a little bit lower. I find it kind of annoying. It sounds like a World Cup song or something that would be in a sports video game almost. Yeah, I just find it annoying more than anything. I know not everyone does. But again, it does sound original. It kind of is memorable. It's just my personal ranking that kind of plummets this down. So while I'm not a fan, 7.1, I have it coming in at. I think that's respectable. I was trying to be kind with these kind of three categories, trying to be like, okay, what can I do to boost this? Because I feel bad I don't really like this one. And I still don't. I listened to it a couple times before filming, and I'm like, I still don't really get the hype of this song. I just don't think I will ever mesh with it, and I guess that's okay. Moving on to Italy at a 7.2. We have a couple songs at 7.2 out of 10. This one is very, very Italian feeling. Again, quite basic. It's this disco funk vibe almost, and it's fun. It's very, very Italian sounding, so that gets points for kind of, representing the country very, very well. And it's a safe choice for Italy for sure. Sal Da Vinci, I think, is like one of the older members at Eurovision this year, which I am applauding. It's a fun song. It's really, really solid. Solid is the word I would give it. Nothing more than solid. I just feel like they played it safe, but I think it works for Italy because they normally kind of give out an impressive result no matter what they do. So pretty solid at 7.2. Tied for 7.2, we have Lithuania, which is also this ballady kind of club. It's kind of like into two different songs. It's kind of like this experimental ballad that turns into a club vibe. One of my least favorite things about this song, though, is the hook. I feel like the hook, just repeating solo quiero ma, it's not very... I don't know, it just doesn't sound right, especially with the title being repeated. That I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit the hook. If it was a different word that he was using for the hook, maybe I would like it. It just is very, very grating on the ears. It doesn't sound like it lines up. So that's just kind of a pet peeve about this song. But besides the hook, I'm liking it sonically. Not a bad ranking here for Lithuania at 7.2 out of 10. Also tied for 7.2 is Armenia. And you can see, 5.5 is my ranking for this song. It's loud and chaotic, but I know it will work for some people. It's very, culturally sounding to the country of Armenia. I know that will kind of, shock some people. It's very memorable. Don't get me wrong. For me, it's memorable in a different aspect where I dislike this song, but I know some of the other aspects, like he's going to get the crowd going with this song. I just feel like it's a little too loud and chaotic. But other things speaking, kind of, it's a memorable song. Don't get me wrong. It's original. It's not something that we have really this year. And again, he's kind of reaching into the country's roots with this one. And it's fun. It's not my cup of tea, but I have it at a 7.2 out of 10. Not too bad. Ballad here, Ukraine, 7.3 out of 10. Again, this one, it's very, very kind of like the Australian one. It feels very shimmering, starlight, very, very dark. And it's a song that can really, really fit with good staging. I think it's more interesting vocally, melodically, production-wise compared to like a Latvia, for example. I always Latvia and Ukraine have similar songs this year, so I kind of put them two together when comparing for some reason. And I feel like a 7.3 out of 10 is a perfect ranking for this. And I'll be excited to see how Leleka kind of levels this up for the well, not the final, if they make it there, for the semifinal. That would be exciting to see. Bulgaria at 7.36. Again, remember when I said my personal ranking here will differ from the song quality. I really, really like this song. Just kind of looking at it, you know, it's annoying in the best way possible, in my opinion. It's a bop. The production is so good. The production is one of the best, I think, in this entire kind of pool of songs for the contest. Production is so good. Whatever they did with it, it's such a good club kind of song to play in your car. It's really, really fun. And if anyone can get past that, they will enjoy it like I am. You know what I mean? So, you know, I like it. Just kind of trying to look at it at a more neutral range. I'm like, okay, I can see why it's not, you know, it's a little annoying. It's a little kind of chaotic, but I love it in the best way possible. Bulgaria, love this track. France, 7.46 out of 10. I am disappointed with this one. I know the French kind of, you know, cultural appeal will happen with this song, but it also kind of feels forced. The Frenchness of this song feels forced to the point that it doesn't feel authentic. So I wasn't really sure where to put that on that scale. You know what I mean? It kind of sounds like a Bad Berghain, the song by Rosalia, with the strings, the violin, all that kind of thing. I don't like the hook. Her vocals don't really impress me. I just think it's a really annoying song. And I think this is one the juries are actually going to like just because of how cinematic, you know, strings, violin included. Juries are going to like it. It's going to be a memorable track. Just in my opinion, I think it's like too French, too trying to do too much, that it falls flat for me. But 7.46 we have out of 10 here. Not too bad. Australia, this is a really good ballad. 7.65, one of the best ballads we have at Eurovision this year. Really strong. I love her vocals. Again, feels very shimmering, very starlight, really interested to see how they stage this one. You know, the melody in this one is so infectious. One of the strongest ballads I think Eurovision has had in the last couple of years, in my honest opinion. I'm not normally one for ballads, but this one I really enjoy. So solid ranking for Australia. Portugal, 7.8 out of 10. Portugal keeps doing at Eurovision what Portugal does best. Kind of sounds similar sonically to what they did last year, but it works for them. It's very emotional, very raw. You know, it's just, I don't know how memorable people will find this song, but I feel like if you sit down and really try and appreciate this song, you will like it. I just don't know if a lot of the general population will, which is why I'm really nervous to see how people are going to receive this in the semifinal. I'm really curious to how people are going to receive this, but I love it. It's very emotional and raw, and it kind of gets me, like, I don't know, in the feels sometimes. But really solid result for Portugal as always. Really pleased with this one. Croatia, this one has taken a long time for me to fully get, but once you get it, you get it. This is a very dark track. Again, vocally, one of the best maybe at all in this contest. Just from like a studio version aspect. Absolutely beautiful. I can't get enough. It kind of reminds me of Veronica from the last... I honestly, I can't remember what year usually a song comes from, but Veronica by Riven. That's kind of what it reminds me of. Very impressive from Croatia. I'm so excited to how dynamic this staging is going to be. Very dark. One of the more dark songs in this contest. I love the imagery that it's kind of presenting me. Really fun song. We have the UK, bro. The UK is in the top half of this. 8.14 out of 10. Finally, a solid UK entry that does not count Dizzy. Dizzy was pretty solid. I love the experimental kind of clubby electronic vibe of this. It's super original. One of the more out there entries for Eurovision this year, and I think it's one that UK can get a good result with. Hopefully it doesn't come with zero points in the grand final, but we will just have to see. Some people will find this lyrically cringy, but I think he pulls it off pretty well. Very fun song. I don't even care. Sweden, on to another very, very fun song. 8.2 out of 10. I'm loving the EDM vibes. The drop is so satisfying. Her vocals, everything about this is very, very consistent. It's a bit weird for Sweden, but they do love their pop songs. This is just very, very electronic focused. So, yeah, this one is I was going to say guilty pleasure, but to be honest, there's nothing inherently bad about it. The only kind of thing that plummets this down a little bit more is that it's not super original. Obviously, we've seen EDM tracks at Eurovision before. It's nothing new. Something about this, though, it goes so hard. So hard. Albania, 8.29 out of 10. Again, kind of like Croatia, once you get it, you get it. This one is gorgeous. I love his vocals. His vocals really, really kind of help this track. It's so good. It's so good. And once you get it, you get it. It really, really kind of, I close my eyes. I can kind of feel this vibe that he is doing. And he kind of puts a great picture into my mind of what the setting of this song. I can't explain it, but he is so good at captivating the listener with this song. Really, really good. Albania keeps doing it the last couple of years. Very, very solid score for Albania. Moving on to Malta, this is kind of like a ballady track too, with like Italian almost influences. The melody of this one is absolutely gorgeous. Again, it's kind of like a ballad, but at the same time, it's not. I feel like this one is going to do very, very good. It's, Malta. I would absolutely love a great result from Malta. They deserve it. It's a really, really good entry, and it's one of the earlier ones that were released this year, so I've had the longest to sit with it, and it just keeps getting better and better. 8.35 is the score for this one. Super, super pleased. Kind of getting on to the bop territory, we have the Cyprus entry, 8.4 out of 10. Cyprus, again, in the top half. Great entry from Cyprus this year. This song makes me want to shake ass. It feels so summery. It feels very island core. It's a fun track. I know a lot of people don't really vibe with it, but I think this is just such a good representation of the country. It's so good. Moving on to Moldova as well. Very, very much an original track. It's one of the more kind of one of the only rap-based tracks in this pool. It reminds me of Stefania, the winner from Ukraine in 2022, kind of like that, with the Moldovan kind of, what's that horn? Something, Moldovan entries usually use this sound, but I'm trying to think of what it's called. But the use of that is beautiful, super, super authentic. I love the cultural vibes it's giving off, obviously, from Moldova. Again, very, very original. Something that this year does not have a lot of rap-heavy track, and I appreciate this one. It's very, very high energy. It's one that's going to be crazy on the stage, and I can't wait to see it kind of live. Montenegro, we're into the top 5 now. So number 5, Montenegro at 8.65 out of 10. This reminds me of Gaga in the best way. It reminds me of Abracadabra, the regular version and the remix she performed on her tour. Something about that is giving that. I love what she does on this track. I love the drop. I love the vocal chop in the drop of the song. This one, Montenegro, I'm impressed with their entry this year. This is so good. This is so good. I love the dark pop vibe of this. So Gaga. Denmark, number 4, 9.05 out of 10. This is gay, bro. This is so gay in the best way possible. The kind of latter half of the track, the climax of this track is so satisfying. Oh, it's insane. Oh, it's insane. It's one of the best pop tracks I think we've received at Eurovision. In a while. This one is runner-up for potential winner. Absolutely. I would love to see this. I'm just picturing, his performance at the national final with the box there, the blue lighting almost. Oh, I'm so excited to see this kind of out on the stage. But incredible. Greece at a 9.15 out of 10. This one I really, really enjoy. It's so engaging. It's so fun. It's so silly. I don't know how well the audience will find it, especially the jury vote. But for me, I absolutely love it. He is so fun on stage, and I feel like his charisma will really, really come out. It's, again, super original. It's this kind of Greek-style dance. I'm not going to say hyperpop, but it's kind of got some really, really cool, interesting elements in this track that make it very, very memorable and shocking to people. So whether, the shock is from, I hate this, shock is from I love this will really get head spinning, and I think that's what Greece needs. Very, very, very great ranking for Greece. Number 2 is Finland, 9.2 out of 10. Again, the violin, I really hope she can play that on the stage. I hope she gets clearance to do that. But the back and forth between Linda and Pete is so good. It feels very Finnish. Finland always has a great pop song in store for Eurovision. This one, again, another one that could potentially get them the win. I'm excited to see how this is shaping out. This is going to shape up on the main stage. And then my personal favorite entry for this year is Romania. Romania's back in the competition, and they do it 9.5 out of 10 with Choke Me by Alexandra Capitanescu. I hope I said that partially right. Reminds me of Gaga, pop rock, Born This Way. Gaga, if she went way harder into the rock. I love the dark elements. I love her crisp vocals. It goes so insanely hard. Just kind of 9.5s across the board. So consistent. My personal winner. I hope this one wins. Again, this is the one where I'm like really nervous for the staging though. I can kind of picture what Ferto is going to be like on the main stage. Forvigariem, kind of have a picture. What is Choke Me going to look like? It's one where it could win, but it also could be really, really bad. You know what I mean? I'm really hoping for good staging because this song is the best, in my opinion. Let me know your thoughts. But from top to bottom, those are my favorite to least favorite tracks. Let me know if you agree or disagree with any of my rankings. I want to hear your own personal rankings. And I will do a semifinal one prediction whenever that comes around, kind of closer to the start date. A semifinal 2-1, and then whenever we get the results from the grand final, I will give you a full kind of prediction for what the grand final will look like. So more Eurovision videos to come. I hope you enjoyed this, my kind of sit down, my thoughts on each song. Again, might be controversial. I want to hear your thoughts if you agree with me or not, but I'm looking forward to the main event. Give it a couple weeks and it'll be here. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Make sure to super chat or super thanks if you want to support me in any way. And I will see you guys in the next one. Stay tuned.